Hello, everyone, and welcome to Motivational Talk Dialogues and Show. I am your girl, Nicole Smith, and of course, I have a wonderful guest with me today, and her name is Katan Paul. Hello, Katan.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, our topic for today is don't run from marketing. So, we are going to let you introduce yourself and get into this topic so we can find out why we're not running from marketing.
Absolutely. So, my name is Katan Paul. I'm the founder of bossbabeblog.com, and I have many different titles and responsibilities or roles, if you will. So, I'm a small business promotion specialist. I'm a business elevation specialist. I'm also a coach, a community mentor, and leader for my community nationwide. And what we do here is we focus on promoting businesses that are listed in my small business directory. So there's quite a bit of things that I help people do, but overall, I would say the most important title for you to keep is business elevation specialist, because depending on where you're at in your business and what your goals are, will determine what you might need. So you may not specifically need branding or marketing, you might just need advertising, or you might need the branding and then get to the advertising. So I'm just here to help you elevate your overall brand presence, sharpen and refine your vision, as well as help bring awareness to your business. So nationwide and actually worldwide, because we do have clients that are outside of the U.S. now. So mhm, that's me.
Definitely a lot of titles to go with the broad personality that you have when it comes to tapping into all the different businesses that you are involved with. So let's go ahead and dive into the topic. Don't run from marketing. So what's that about today?
Absolutely. And thank you for your compliment, Nicole. I do try to focus on paying attention to each industry and their needs. So today's topic is don't run for marketing. It's just that conversation to tell you don't be afraid of refining and polishing your business. And the reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of times entrepreneurs assume that in order for them to have quality marketing and advertising services, they have to break the bank, or they have to have a angel investor, or they have to have $1 million in the bank in order for them to receive that level of marketing and branding and consulting assistance. But the reality is that there are many opportunities and options out there. You just have to look, and you have to ask yourself two questions, similar to what we talked about in our last interview. Number one, is it valuable to you? Is it worth it to you? And number two, can you afford it? And if you can answer yes to both of those questions, then it's time to dive into ways to refine your business and refine your message. A lot of times, everybody wants to be likable to everyone, everybody wants to speak to everyone. But the reality is that you will not always speak to everyone. You will not always be liked by everyone. And so when I'm saying don't run from your marketing, I'm really saying don't run from your elevation, don't run from your identity in your business, and don't run from really being clear about what it is that you want. A lot of times people don't do that because it's out of fear of not having enough funding, out of fear that what if I actually try and then I don't succeed, out of fear of what if nobody supports me. These are all things that we ask ourselves, which is why we put ourselves on cruise or autopilot, so we can have that little excuse in the back of our heads if it doesn't go the way we expected, and say, well, I didn't really try, or oh, if it works, it works. If it doesn't. But I ask you, what if you applied yourself 1,000% and you took advantage of all of the resources and professionals that are out here ready to assist you with polishing your vision? What if you did that? And not only what if you did it, but what if you did it consistently, loyally, and without complaining and without dragging and without focusing on the things that you don't have? If you were to do that consistently for the next 2 to 3 years, I guarantee you're going to see growth in your business in ways that you would not have expected, because that half doing things, or not investing in yourself completely, it doesn't always end well for some people. And even if you are seeing growth, you can see so much more when you have polished professionals by your side who are assisting you to elevate your vision. So with all of that being said, I just want to bring some light to what our process looks like at bossbayblog.com. Because, like I said, it's a small business directory. We focus on making it easier for shoppers to find credible entrepreneurs who provide real services and they are real people. Because we know that for shoppers, sometimes they're scared, they've been burned in the past, and they don't know who to spend their money with, and they don't know who to trust. And we know for entrepreneurs, sometimes they feel like they're having to work twice as hard for the previous small business that didn't do what they were supposed to do with a customer. So now they have to, answer 20 questions instead of 5, because this person has experienced something negative with another small business, and they're now associating that with everyone when it comes to the small business experience. So I understand both sides of these and I respect both sides of them. And so that was why we have this directory, one of the many reasons why we created the directory. So here at our directory, yes, it is an investment. It will require you to invest in your business if you are wanting to be listed in this community. And we do have requirements as far as how we treat our clients, our clarity when we're discussing our policies and what it is that we provide to people. That is all a part of our community and our quality. However, there's flexibility. So don't think that because you see all of the services that we provide that you wouldn't be able to afford it, or that you could never receive it, or you have to wait 10 years to get it. Because the reality is that if you're the ideal client that we are looking for, the pricing or the payments will be secondary to bringing you to our community. And so what that means is, yes, you will be required to invest. However, you have options. So you can choose to pay upfront, or you can choose to pay through invoices, which allows you to divide those payments out. Now, depending on what service we're recommending to you or what service you are adamant about receiving, and when I say service, I say which tier of membership, will determine what your payment plan would look like, and also what your perks and your benefits of being a part of this community would look like. But every single one of those memberships is high quality advertising and marketing.
And that's a great way to break down everything, because a lot of times people, they want to start their business and they keep saying, okay, when I get the money to do this, when I get the money to do that, or, hey, like we was talking about last week, hey, when I can, market my business, when I can get somebody to be on my team, when I can do all of these things and
Mhm.
connect all of these dots. Well, sometimes when you're connecting the dots, it doesn't have anybody in between there.
Yeah.
It's just you. It's just you in that in between till you get to the next dot. So sometimes you have to, man up and invest in yourself and
Well,
learn
woman.
how to do what you need to do to get to that next level. And a lot of people are afraid of price tags.
Yeah.
They run away from them. And one thing I can say is, if you invest in yourself, the price tag is going to be a reward in the end. We just have to get to the end.
Yeah. You mentioned, I mean, you touched on a lot of really golden topics. Just like a recap, when I was discussing this with my interview with Nicole previously, we were talking about how people always say, oh, I'm going to start my business as soon as I get the funding to hire this fancy marketing team, or, oh, I'm going to get on camera as soon as I buy that professional camera. I'm going to get started as soon as I have this. And I love the fact that you mentioned that, because it goes back to this point, which is, what if instead of investing $50 into something that you can't get back, or that you're never going to use again, or that you barely even like, you invested $50 into your business? And when you think about, you break down how you spend your money, that tells you what you prioritize in your life. And it's not an easy conversation sometimes, because you have to really sit down and look at the nitty and gritty. But if you spend $500 worth of your money on Chipotle every month, and then you spend $50 worth of your money on your business every month, as much as it might feel good to say you prioritize your business and that's the most important thing, that might not be the reality. Now, some people might say, well, Chipotle's food. Fair enough. Let's move to something that's not food. Even then, you can still make Chipotle at your house, though. But if you don't have time and you feel like Chipotle is the best route, look, let's play devil's advocate. So let's go to something different. Let's say you spend $200 on shopping, for yourself every month, right? Just shopping in general. But you only spend $50 on your business, or $0 on your business every month. Your priorities show through your wallets where you are spending your money and where your attention is going at the end of the day. So if you're needing that income, even shopping with yourself over spending money and shopping externally shows a level of self-loyalty and prioritization. So this isn't going to be everyone's story, but a lot of people are not exceptions to the rule. And that is the hard part of entrepreneurship and leadership, is that you're most of the time you're not going to be the exception to the rule. Everybody wants to be. They want to say, oh, well, that's not me because I do this. But a lot of times you will not be the exception to the rule. And when you look at your finances, it will show you where you spend the majority of your money, and it will be in places that you could have invested into yourself. So that $200 bag that you purchased could have been put towards a $200 monthly payment or a $200 payment towards your business. At one point in time, to join our directory, it was $30. And that was a steal of a deal for all of the richness that I'm providing in this community, because this is not by any means cheap. But because I was starting out and I wanted people to know that I was real, I provided that exclusive founders price for people to sign up and renew at that price until the price went up, right? But this is a rich experience where you're not just receiving advertising. It's not just a directory listing where I take your website and place it on a listing. We're listing your business. You're being featured in our blog. You're receiving a branding consultation, a one-on-one 2-hour session to sit down and discuss your brand. You're receiving a business performance assessment to talk about your goals, where you're currently trending and where you want to be. You're receiving a new member onboarding so we can make sure that you know about all your benefits, but most importantly, that we understand who you are and what's important to you. So these are all things that create this white glove experience of marketing. And for our signature membership, if you apply to be a member of our directory and you are approved, starting out monthly payments could be starting anywhere from $100 to $200 a month for 5 to 10 months. So that $100 purchase that you're spending on that store of that clothing that's not paying you to advertise it, but it has the logos all over, you could be spending on your business. And some people say, well, I like these brands, and it's okay to like them. But you also have to understand that you're an entrepreneur and a business owner. So which one are you going to be first? Are you going to be a shopper first and a entrepreneur second? Or are you going to be an entrepreneur first and a shopper second? These are questions you have to ask yourself. So sometimes investment and prioritization is really the reason why we don't see that growth in our business or that investment, because we think we can't afford it, but in reality we just need to reprioritize and refocus, and then really pay attention to what it is you're receiving, and don't be afraid to ask questions, because I've seen times where a person has spent $500 on a marketing or advertising service, and then they didn't receive all the things that they were really looking for from that service, and now they're coming to my brand, or they're seeing my brand, and they're saying, well, I just spent $500 here, so I can't afford to do 500 a month or 100 a month or 200 a month. When in reality, had we taken the time to understand what we're going to receive, you probably would see that this isn't what I'm looking for. So let me go somewhere else where I can get these specific things. So I did drop a lot of gems in there, but I just wanted to touch on what you said about sometimes it's not about, well, what when as soon as I get here, I'll be able to do that. Sometimes you have exactly what you need emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, financially to get to that next level. You're just not utilizing it effectively and intentionally and strategically, most importantly. So
Yep,
I didn't add that on.
definitely. And I want to say hello to all of our viewers and thank you for tuning in to Motivational Talk Dialogues and Show. We appreciate you watching, share, 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 of course, because this is some very important information that's going to be going out pretty much on a regular basis. We're tapping into getting ready for 2027 because you have to get ready ahead of time. You can't wait till the last minute to get ready. And now is the time. Next week, we're going to be halfway through 2026. Like
Yeah.
half of the year is going to be gone. If you have not done anything the first part of this year, even if you were prepping to get ready for the second part of the year, you're still doing something good. And your prepping could be your style of marketing because when you get ready to go out there and hit the streets and do what you need to do for your business, it's going to show up. And by the time the new year come in, you're ready. You know, if you are per se waiting on that money or waiting on whatever it is that you're procrastinating and waiting on, okay, let me give you a little solution that I'm using for myself. My solution to this problem is I got a business mentor that's going to guide me through the process. And that mentor also does my marketing. So not only do they understand what I want for my business, but when they're helping me market my business, they already know what is being put out there. So sometimes you need to compare the two. Get with somebody that's going to elevate you on the level that you need to be elevated on And I want to roll back to when you said about the branding. I was actually just talking to MJ Custom Tees and Design,
Shout out to MJ.
and we were talking about the fact that for the job that I'm at, I have 20 to 30 shirts.
Mhm.
And when we had this conversation, I did not have a per se shirt that was just my brand. Just like really just shouting, yelling, this is AL Publishing and Consulting. This is Motivational Talk Dialogues and Show. I didn't have that. But when we started talking about it, and I'm realizing I'm walking around here broadcasting them for free, and I'm not even broadcasting my own business, something wrong with that picture. So if you are one of the people that's steady buying merchandise for a big job that you're going to and helping them make money, but you're not broadcasting your own business to help yourself make money, it's time for a mindset reset. So let's market that. How about
Yeah.
that?
She said, how about them apples? Yeah, no, that is very much true, Nicole. I think it comes down to a value thing. It comes down to um removing that sense of guilt or weirdness that you feel when you put the spotlight on yourself, because a lot of times we have been taught not to do that. But the reality is
Yeah.
that these leaders out here, these brands, these business owners, these um designers that have been making all of this money, they couldn't do that. They couldn't take the spotlight off of themselves and focus on everybody else in order for them to get to where they are today. They had to put the spotlight on their own brand and focus on promoting their own brand. So at the end of the day, if you're wanting to be that leader and that entrepreneur, you have to get comfortable with being the topic of discussion, because people need to know what you're about and what solutions you're providing to the community. So I definitely agree with you on that. I think we have to value ourselves enough. And we talk about it in different communities. We talk about it in the small business community. We talk about it in the Black community. We talk about it as far as like promoting these big brands and not getting paid for it. Um, but it's very common for people who don't really see their value yet. Like you're willing to go and promote these things for free, but you don't understand how expensive you are, because you are extremely expensive. And to be wearing someone's apparel, their own merch with their brand on it, you are advertising their business, you are a representation of their vision, and you are the canvas for other people to now look and say, I want to look like that, I want that shirt, where can I go get it, where did you buy that from? So why wouldn't we be doing that for ourselves? I think it comes down to just valuing ourselves and knowing how expensive we are. It's not to say that you can't still wear your designer items, because hey, some people just love that designer stuff. They do, with or without a label. But it's also about understanding how important you are. Just know that you're important, whether you exercise it or not. Now that's your choice, but I just want people to understand how valuable they truly are as consumers. And when you go and you wear that shirt that has that big brand logo on it, you're expensive. You're a walking billboard for their business. And when you go dressed up looking cute in those designer shoes and that designer handbag, you're expensive. You're a walking billboard. Most importantly, you're a free walking billboard, because they are not paying you to promote it, to wear it, to take pictures of it. You're just doing it because you genuinely or authentically enjoy it. Sometimes people do it because they enjoy it. Sometimes people do it because it's popular. Either way, you're doing
Right.
it and it's free to them, but it is extremely expensive. It's an expensive gesture. So please know
Okay.
that, and then do with that information what you feel is right. But as an entrepreneur, keep that in mind when you're wearing those clothes, when you're talking about businesses and brands, when you're promoting things on social media, when you're going to events and you're going to spaces. Know how expensive it is, and don't feel bad for asking people what would they pay you to do that, because it is a job at the end of the day. Whether you get paid for it or not, it's just your choice.
And don't get me wrong, they have some small businesses that actually um sell the name brand items. So if you're tapping into a small business that's selling the name brand items, you're still helping a small business become successful. Now,
Yeah.
we're not saying don't help a fellow small business, because that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is if you're doing something and you're saying, I got this merchandise from this small business, you can go over here and get your merchandise from this small business. Then that advertisement is priceless. But when you're just going into a store that has a name brand and you're purchasing that item out of that store, they don't know that you purchased. They don't care that you purchased. All they worrying about is the money rolling back into their pocket. So why don't we start doing this for the small business owners? Why don't we start pouring into them? Why don't we start marketing them? Why don't we start saying, hey, I got this from this small business? Why don't we start using social media for what it's for? To advertise the things that we're doing for our business, for other small business, and help them elevate. Let's
Yeah.
start helping each other elevate. It's time to stop helping everybody else that already made it and start helping the ones that's trying to get there.
Yeah, I do agree. And I don't want anyone to feel like it's a, you can't shop designer because, like you said, you can shop a small business that promotes or sells designer and you can check to make sure it's authentic as well. There's ways to do that. But also, if you like designer, you like designer, live your designer life. I just want to put out because everybody has a decision to make on how they want to live their life. And so I don't want anyone to ever feel like anyone should be judged for that because what you do is what you do at the end of the day because nobody gonna tell me what I'm gonna do, so I sure ain't gonna try to
That's
tell you,
right. That's true.
but I tell you that right now. But what I am saying is if you are calling yourself an entrepreneur, if you are going down that path of being a leader and an entrepreneur and a business owner, and you're telling me my business is my top priority, but then when I go look at what you're spending your money on and you spent $500,000 worth of money on designer bags, on restaurants, on all these different places. But then when I ask you how much money did you spend on your business, and you say $50 or zero or none, or I don't do advertising or marketing, that right there is showing you what your priority is. So when you don't see money coming back from either of those avenues, you can't be too surprised because the people that you're spending money with, they're not paying you. So we know you're not getting money back from that. I mean, duh, unless you're reselling it. But for your business yourself, you're wondering, why am I not getting sales? Why am I not seeing growth? Why am I not seeing subscribers? That investment has to be a lot larger and the prioritization has to be a lot larger if you're wanting to see growth and if you're wanting to see something come from that. And it isn't always just about financial, even though we're talking about financial, because I wanted to tell people about the flexibility of becoming a member of my directory. It's also about your time, how much time you invest. If I ask you what's important to you and you say my business, my dreams, my goals, and then when I look at your schedule and I see that you give yourself about 10 to 20 minutes a week to focus on your dreams and your goals, it's not that important. It's not that important to you. Even if we want to say it is, your actions show what is important to you. Maybe you want it to be, but it is not how you're acting at that time. If you're only giving yourself 10 to 20 minutes a week to focus on your dreams, your priorities, and your goals, but then for the rest of the week, you're doing all these other things. And don't get me wrong, everybody needs to take a break, but the investment is important. So if you can invest 30 minutes into watching Real Housewives of Boss Blog, then knock on wood. But listen, if you can invest, 30 minutes into watching Real Housewives of where or wherever, then you can invest 30 minutes into learning better ways to promote your business. If you can invest 30 minutes in a conversation about what somebody's not doing right in their life, then you can invest 30 minutes into a conversation about what somebody is doing right in their business and how you can be a part of it or how you can bring value. If you can invest 30 minutes in a text back and forth conversation, you can invest 30 minutes into sending out an estimate to multiple people or getting your team to send out estimates to multiple people about the services that you provide. It is a choice of how you invest your time. And you need to combine that with the reality that no day is promised so that you can see that growth in your business that you're looking for. Investment, a sense of urgency, and an understanding that you have to be that catalyst for your business is really what I want to get across to people, whether they sign up with Boss Babe Blog or they go to a different marketing agency. I love to have you here, but if it's not the right fit after filling out an application, we're going to, release you to somebody that would be the right fit for you. And if it is a right fit, we will go ahead and get you started and find that payment plan that works, that is most flexible for you. Now, I'm not saying that I can work with everything because, like I said earlier, we're not trying to be for everybody and we cannot do everything. I know what my audience is. I know what I'm trying to achieve. However, if you're wanting to be a member and you're unable to do that $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 up front, that's okay. Just go fill out an application. Let's find out if you're a right fit, and then we can go from there.
Yeah.
Hello. Thanks for joining.
And that's perfectly said. We definitely want to be able to help the people that are placed in our lives, and God always placed somebody in your life. Because even if you lose somebody in your business, He's gonna send you three more, or four more, or however many more that He has. Because everybody has somebody that they're gonna connect to, that they're gonna enjoy being with, that's gonna help them elevate, that's gonna help them stay structured, stay functional. You know, and like you just said, life is not promised. Just this past week, we lost a cousin in perfectly good health, gone. Super surprised, just blew us out of the water. He's gone, just like that. You know, woke up, seemed to be fine. Within probably an hour or less, he was gone.
That's terrible.
So you have to make sure that you're doing what you need to do to elevate yourself in your business, because so many times we are allowing ourselves to tap into things that are not beneficial to us or our business, and it's a hindrance to us. Yet we still continue to say, "Okay, I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep spinning this wheel. I'm gonna keep spinning
Yeah.
this wheel. Eventually, I'm gonna make a dent in this cement, because we already know unless you going hard on some cement, you're not finna break it. But we have to realize that your job can come and go.
Yeah.
You may go in tomorrow and they say, "Hey, we're making cuts," and you were one of the cuts. Your business, who gonna let you go unless you let yourself go?
Yeah.
And the only way you let yourself go is by letting yourself down. So let's change our focus. Let's change our mindset. Let's start being the entrepreneurs that we are meant to be. And over the last year, I've had so many shocks, so many hits, so many things that has gotten my focal shifted, that, and my mentor, she's on here, she could tell you the shift is real.
Yeah.
And the mindset has changed. And definitely making some different moves. I'm moving different, thinking different, and all of these things. Things that used to be like, oh, I'm worried about it. Oh, okay, I'll get to it. But when it comes to things that are important, like family and your business, and the things that the people that are helping to pour into you, that are actually putting funds into your business, but yet you're pushing them away. Sometimes we push people away because we're scared of succeeding,
Yeah.
because we don't know what success looks like, and we push them away. But we don't want to be the one to push the wrong people away because we're afraid. And a lot of people are afraid of succeeding. I know I can say that because I was there. I was afraid of being in front of the camera and telling people, hey, this is how you can write a book. This is what you can do. But when God says this is for you, it's for you. So let's stop running. Today we're talking about let's start running from marketing, but let's just stop running, period. Let's stop running.
That's a really powerful take, Nicole, and my my love and support goes out to your family. I hate to hear stories like that. It kind of happens that way when we lose people. It's just so unexpected. And this topic just, I'm so passionate about it because I told you about what happened in the beginning of the year where we had one of our vendors, or one of the women that was supposed to be there. So I just get so emotional when I think about it. But it's just that we really have to understand that no day is promised. Everybody says it, but we don't really act on it. So we're still moving as if we have tomorrow, when we don't know how many tomorrows you have left. So you don't want to leave this earth knowing that you did not give it your all. Make sure you put everything out on the floor. Make sure that every day you treat it like the game. If you were in sports, your coach said, we practice how we play how we practice. That meant when you come to practice, you play like it's time for the game. How about we start living our life for the game now? I think that's what we should do, because there is no guarantee that you'll get to wait
Yeah.
until the quote unquote game comes later. So it's just about enjoying that journey, honoring yourself, knowing your own worth, but also, like you said, challenging yourself and stop running away from marketing, stop running away from the ability to be successful, stop running away from spaces that challenge you to elevate, and people that challenge you to elevate and challenge your perspective. I think that those are all really important when it comes to our growth and our building. And don't let people tell you what you can or can't achieve, and don't trick yourself into thinking that you can't have something just because you're not technically where you think you need to be. And I'll end that statement with one example that I just find so funny now. Probably about a couple years ago, I love to cook. I love to cook for people. That's like a love language to me. So I enjoy just seeing people eat and have a good time. It's like one of my favorite things. And if I had all the money in the world, I would just cook all day long for everybody. And, maybe not all day long. Mama's got to rest. But we would cook and we would do it over and over again. So, with that being said, I always told myself I wanted to do something where I would cook a big meal and maybe have 5 to 10 of my friends or loved ones sit down and eat with me, and we laugh and play games and have a good time. But at the time when I told myself that, I used to think, well, I probably can't be doing that right now because I really got to stick to my budget. And, that would be costing a lot of money. And then I got to think about the planning, and then I got to do X, Y, and Z. But this is something that I just genuinely love doing. And I laugh about it now because fast forward a couple years later, and I'm cooking for 30 to 50 people coming from different states. People that I have grown to have a beautiful relationship with, that I love and care about, people that I'm just now meeting for the first time, people who needed that smile, they needed to laugh that day, people who needed to be in a space where it is not required for you to be anything outside of who you are. And now I'm cooking for 30 to 50 people. So it's
Exactly.
just so funny to think that in that moment I thought I couldn't really be of value to people on that level because I wasn't where I want to be. But now I've been able to create that impact for people, and the impact stays on people. It doesn't ever leave. So, don't limit yourself to what you can do, what you can achieve, and put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to ask questions even if you're not sure if something is in your price range. See what options are available. Can you afford it, and is it valuable to you? Ask those two questions, and from there, start growing and elevating your business.
Yeah, and she even been cooking for picky eaters because I've been at her events and I have eaten some of the food that she has cooked for her 30, 40, 50, 60 plus people that have been in the building. And I am a picky eater and I enjoyed it. Thank you very much for our meals. We loved it. Yes, thank you. And took some back to the hotel. Okay. Yes. All right.
Thank you very much.
So
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
her food is very worthy of it.
My foot in it. I'm gonna
And if
put
I say it's worthy because, like I say, I'm very picky when it comes to things that I eat. I'm big on texture. I'm big on how it look, how it smell, all of these things. So if I give her an A plus, it's an A plus. And if I was ever in a little Roxy, I'd be like, she'd be like, "Oh, Vicky, you want? I'm gonna taste it. I'm just gonna taste a little bit, you know." So, but I have not had anything that I have said. I'm not sure about that. But
wow.
not when it comes to her food, not when it comes to her as my mentor, and not when it comes to her even as my friend. Um, she's straightforward. And if you want somebody that's gonna be straightforward, that's gonna get your marketing out there, that's gonna get you where you need to be, even if you're feeling rocky, you're feeling shaky, you're feeling off balance, you're feeling off key, get that stability because everybody needs somebody that's gonna stabilize them. No matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, everybody needs a stabilizer. Everybody needs a equalizer. Somebody that's gonna match their energy because sometimes you're gonna be off your game. Even on your best day, you might be off your game and somebody has to reel you back in. So we might be talking about marketing, but this is bigger than that. This is a life change. This is a mindset change. This is a ability and an opportunity for you to do something that you've never done before. That you are afraid to do because you see so many other people fail. But who's to say that you're going to be the one that fails? Maybe they didn't do the things that you're tapping into and doing, so that's why they failed. But when you have a lot of connections in one community that's going to help prop you up, that's going to have some of the things that you need. I'm a motivational speaker. And I know this is a little bit off course, but I'm going to jump on this real quick anyway. And I know Katara has another show, so we're not going to hold her all day. But I'm a motivational speaker. And if I need to go to an event, I can go into the group. I can get somebody that's going to have an outfit. I can get somebody that's going to have jewelry. I can get somebody that's going to have shoes. I can get somebody that's going to have purses. I can get somebody that's going to have hats or whatever it is that I want to accessorize and dress up for that event.
Yeah.
It's in the group. It's in the
Yeah.
group. And all I have to do is say, I need this color. I need this kind of outfit. I need this kind of shoe. And I promise you, it's going to come out the way it needs to come out.
Yeah.
Can you go to the store and get this same service? No. And yeah, I'm not gonna say no because I used to work in retail, so yes, you can.
Yeah, yeah,
But
but it's changed a little bit. We're
it's
in a day and
different.
age where, yeah, people, you sometimes don't know if people really understand the heart of customer service or customer experience, and you go in places and you forget, like, oh yeah, people don't do it like that anymore. So it
Yeah,
has changed a little bit. It is possible, but there's a level of love and, like you said,
yeah,
personalization, and also, even if you're someone that loves to shop but you're just curious, you can go and look up these business owners in our directory in the blog, and we have blog interviews talking about their story, what they've overcome, what's important to them, how they give back to the community. These are questions that are right in front of you that are answered, versus going and trying to look up a business or a business owner and not being able to find any information. Now, some people don't care. Some people feel like, hey, as long as you can give me a great service and I don't care, that's all I need. But other people really do enjoy the enrichment of community and also just knowing where their dollars are going to. So we have a lot of mindful consumers in this day and age. So yeah, I do agree with that. And I thank you for sharing that experience too as a shopper.
definitely, definitely. Even when it comes to your business, when you need, even for my business, AL Publishing and Consulting, I have reached out to Patron and been like, look, I need a voiceover for a book. I need XYZ for a book. Do you have somebody that can do this for my client? So stop being afraid. Um, One of the things that I can honestly say that my dad taught me, he was a pastor, and the main thing that he always used to tell me is, well, Vicky, which is my name also, you have not because you ask not. If you're not asking, how
Mm,
do anybody know that you need it?
that's a good one. That's a great one.
That part. With a
Closed
period
mouths
behind
don't
it.
get fed. Closed mouths don't get fed.
Not a question mark, but with a period.
Mm. No, that's a. I mean, it's the same concept. Closed mouths don't get fed. You won't get it,
Right.
and then kind of, what he said too goes back to what I was talking about, like your momentum. If you don't have it because you haven't created it,
Mhm.
the growth in your business, the
Exactly.
sales, the customers, you don't have it because you haven't went out to go get them. You haven't put yourself in places to be seen by them. You haven't explained what it is that you provide to them. And sometimes all it takes is an explanation. And from there, you now have customers, clients, supporters, subscribers. So that's a really great sentiment.
It is. And before we let you go, because I know you got to get ready for your show, let's leave the audience with something inspirational to take them through the week and to give them something to think about going into this new week, this new month, this new second half of the year,
Mhm.
and get them ready.
Honestly, I don't have anything. I'm just playing. No,
I'm finna say that's not true. That's not true.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing, y'all. Just tugging your leg a little bit. But no, I would say we're getting ready to go into this new year or new quarter or half of the year. Um, the biggest focus I would like to leave with people is similar to what I discussed previously, which is the importance of self. Like, I need you to really tap into yourself in these upcoming months and zone in on what you need for yourself, whether that be in your health, your finances, your relationships, your business, your friendships. Tap into yourself and don't be afraid to put things on pause or mute. You got to tune out that noise. There's a lot of noise going around in our lives right now. You got noise from family, you got noise from friends, you got noise from business, you got noise from drama, you have noise from the news, noise from politics, noise from all of
Hmm.
the different things that are issues going on right now. Obviously, there's very important pieces from every place that you're receiving noise, but you got to be able to zone out a little bit or tune it out until you get to what you need to take from each place. So once you learn how to do that, you will master the art of being intentional with your time and really making sure that every day that you're living is in purpose and intention versus wasting your time on things that don't pour into you or bring you anything productive. So in your friendships, zone out, tune out that noise, that drama, the negativity, the weight, tune that out and find what's important to you. And then start delivering that with people that understand that value, or accept how people are and just leave it where it's at. Don't feed the drama. In your business, same thing. You got to tune out that noise and stop listening to what people are talking about and start doing some research for yourself. Stop looking at what's popular and start looking at what's valuable to you and to your business. Um, Stop waiting for other people to stand up and start standing up for yourself to promote your own business. And then same thing in all the other areas of your life. We have to tune out that noise to find what is important to us so that we are living our life fulfilled. And we understand that every day is not promised. So when you go to sleep every night, you should feel proud of the work that you've done and how hard you've been pushing and the impact. Most importantly, the impact that you have created. I'm not saying you have to go and touch a million people in one day, but ask yourself, what impact will I make today, every day that you wake up? And find a way to make one positive impact, even if it's just sending a message to someone and saying, hey, I saw your post and I just want you to know you look beautiful today. Even if it's sending a message to someone and saying, hey, I hope that you're doing well. I'm just checking in on you. Keep up the great work. Even if it's purchasing something, even if it's leaving a review, even if it's sharing a letter of appreciation or highlighting someone. But ask yourself what kind of impact you want to leave for that day. Create that impact so that when you close your eyes, if for any reason, God forbid, you were not opening them again, you be going to sleep proud of the work that you've done and how hard you have gone and what you left out on the floor in this life. That's what I would encourage people to start doing, is to start living their lives today instead of waiting for next month, next week, next year to start living loudly.
That's good. That is definitely good and so true. Definitely appreciate you coming on the show today, sharing your knowledge. You've been in this game for a while, and it's appreciated. It's probably not said enough, but it is appreciated, the things that you do and the things that you have accomplished and the things that you're helping your clients accomplish. It is appreciated. If nobody told you that today, then I'll be the first one to say it. Um, I always give people their flowers while they're living, because one of the things that I can say is, when I left my mom before she passed away, when I left that evening, she was alive.
Yeah,
In the middle of the night, she was gone. So you might not get that opportunity to say, "Oh, I'll just do it tomorrow."
yeah,
You might not have that chance. So we have to learn that sometimes right now is the best time, even if it don't feel like it's the best time. So, like she said, show some appreciation to somebody. Walk by somebody and say, "Oh, girl, I like that dress. I like your hair. I like whatever. Whatever it is, it's priceless. It's not gonna cost you. It's not gonna hurt you. It's not gonna hurt nobody's feelings that you telling them that you like something about them. And they might have been on the break, and they might have been having a bad day, and you bring a smile to their face.
yeah,
So we have to not only pay attention to the things that we're going through ourselves, but the people around us. Because it's a lot of days that you might see me at work, you might see me out in public and I'm smiling and I'm torn up inside because I got so many things going on that nobody has an idea. Nobody has a clue that's going on with me.
Hmm.
But I'm still smiling. I'm still putting on that good picture front for everybody that needs to see it because what I have going on, I don't need it to affect you if you're almost at the break and you see me breaking it, but you look up to me, then I'm helping to break you. So sometimes we have to smile through our frustrations because you never know what that person on the outside looking in to you is actually needing at that moment.
Yeah.
And we are, and as much as I do not like to say this because I do not like being in the spotlight, that is not something that I like, but people see my face on social media. People see me, they hear me. They hear me at conferences, they hear me at workshops, they hear me at these different events, they hear Catan, and they're listening even when we don't think that they're listening.
Yeah.
They're looking when we don't think that they're looking. And some people are adapting their lives to the way that you do when you act, even though we don't have a clue that they're doing it. So you have to be careful of the spirits that you're breaking in the moves that you make because sometimes you don't even know that you're doing it because you'll never know. You got to look at all these celebrities that these people look up to, and some of these celebrities never know that somebody is just over the moon infatuated with them. They don't have a clue. And then when they do something that's so, throwed off, it breaks them. We do not want to be the person that breaks somebody. We want to be the ones that lift them up. And sometimes that means lifting yourself up in the midst of being down.
Yeah.
So, Katan, I do applaud you for that because as much as I see you on YouTube, because I'm always on YouTube looking at you, listening to the things that you put on there, for
Thank you.
my 20, 30 minutes of elevation time that I do, I do listen to a lot of the things that you post because it's related to business. It's related to sometimes it's funny. Don't get me wrong, she will crack a good joke. Let's not just act like she's
We're a
always
little silly,
serious.
a little silly over here, just a
So
little bit.
yeah, we do a little, catch a couple of our group uh catch a couple of our group shows and you will see that, we're not always serious, but at the same time, we know when we need to put it on and when we don't. Because sometimes you might just need a smile or a laugh.
Yeah.
And you definitely will get it if you go and watch us on YouTube. So just saying. You need a laugh right now, go ahead and find some of them group shows that we got over there on YouTube. I
Quite,
promise you, no,
quite a
it
bit.
doesn't matter which one it is, you're gonna laugh about something.
You will
So
laugh.
uh, definitely appreciate you being on the show today. I appreciate you partnering with me with our scholarship with AL Publishing and Consulting. And I will be discussing that once I let you off. But I'm gonna let you go and get ready for your show tonight so that I can tap in and watch that as well. So
Thank
you
you.
have a good one and thank you for being a guest on Motivational Talk Dialogue and Show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you for bringing me on the platform, Nicole, and I look forward to many more. And thank you,
All
everyone,
right.
for watching.
All right. Thank you so much. You have a good evening. All right, so you have just been in the presence of Katan Paul. She has so many things that she can offer. If you're even thinking about tapping into some of the things that she can offer you, you can go to bossbabeblog.com and check out the services that she has. Look into the things that she has that can help elevate your business. But as I was talking about the scholarship that we have going on with AL Publishing and Consulting, we are doing a $175 scholarship where you can be in our author coaching course for $25 for the whole 12 months. And you can get the services that you need for um, writing your book, from that blank sheet of paper. And some people are coming to with a whole book already written, things that they already have in place. You still can utilize this service. Um, Now is the perfect time to go ahead and sign up because come Sunday, it's going to be a lot of information dropped in the group, probably like 2 months worth of information. So it's going to be a jump start to everything, getting you going on and forward. I have everything for those that are just wanting the information. It's already typed up and ready. All of the coursework is ready because we went back in and we revamped it because we wanted to make sure that we were giving you exactly what you needed in this course. So everything has been revamped. If you're one of the ones that just want the information and say, hey, I'm self sufficient, I'll ask questions if I need to ask questions, you can send an email if you're already in the course and say, hey, just send me over the information. I'm self sufficient. I'll tap into you if I need you. Along this course, you can do that. If you're somebody that needs to have the hearing part of it, you need the visual, you need the information laid out in front of you, you need to hear somebody escalate that information to you, then you can tap into the group on Monday and you can start getting the coursework there in the group. So either way, you can get the coursework. It's for a full 12 months, $25. $25. This scholarship is taking off $175 off of the price of this 12-month author coaching course. All you have to do is go to LacoleSmith.com, sign up for the author coaching course. You're going to put in BOSS, BOSS 1, and that is going to take your $175 off. We have 8 of those left. If you get there and it says that that code is not available anymore, we also are offering $150 off of the author coaching course for the 12 months. You can get it for $50 for the 12 months. You get the same information. You'll be in the same group. You'll be able to tap into all of this good information. You'll go to the website, do the same thing, and key in BOSS 2, BOSS 2. So this is going to be a phenomenal second half of the year. You are going to be seeing some things shift, some things change, and not only are we ready to elevate with motivational talk dialogues and show, but we're ready to elevate with AL publishing and consulting. We have made some changes to that brand as well. So we appreciate your support. We appreciate you tapping into um, our business, our small business, and helping keep us going and helping motivate us and encourage us along the way. We are grateful for each and every one of you that have tuned in and watched any of our shows, supported any of our guests. We appreciate that. It does not go unseen, it does not go unheard of. We are very grateful for the people that are in our community and the things that they are doing. Again, I want to say thank you to Canton and Paul for being my guest today. Um, Earlier, you probably had the opportunity to see Miriam Jackson. She is a part of our team as well. But as you grow, you learn what you know. And when you know, that's the best way to grow. When you know better, you do better, you grow better. So, this is your girl, Nicole, coming at you one more time. And of course, your voice is important. Speak loudly. And I love you. And there's nothing you can do about it. So, y'all have a blessed evening. Continue to be great. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.